Howdy, good morning. My name is Rob and you're watching Junk Monkey Treasures. I am a picker, flipper, treasure hunter. Doesn't matter to me if I am panning for gold or digging for gemstones or going to thrift stores and antique malls to find treasures that I can either add to my personal collection or sell online for a profit to further support going out looking for more treasure. Today we only got one thing going out. This is a heat control for an electric skillet. Believe it or not, these things sell really well. They sell better than the whole unit. I get these at the Goodwill bins, which is a place where you go in and you dig through great big bins of stuff and you pay for it by the pound. Electronics in my local Goodwill bins store is 59 cents a pound. We paid about 30 cents for this, and we just sold it for $16.99 plus shipping and handling. Customers all in $30 for this thing by the time they pay for shipping, and they pay whatever local income or sales tax they pay. So we're going to get this boxed up, and we're going to go drop it off at the post office, and I'm going to get you into a thrift store, and let's see what we can find. So like and subscribe, come along for the ride, and I'll see you when we get inside that thrift store. And just like that, we are in. And here's a beautiful blue vase that appears to be hand blown. We will look that up and see if it's anything good. Hopefully it is. Oh, all right, we are on the knickknacks aisle. And this little guy has caught my attention. He is signed 2005 Cutie Wear. Okay. I'll agree with that. For $2.49, that's coming home with us for sure. My little buddy's still here. Let's see if we can see anything else. What do we got down here on the bottom shelf? That's metal. It's unmarked. I think we'll leave that. Unmarked. All right, I'll bring you back in when we find something. Thought I found a nice piece of enamel on copper, but this is just tin. Then I looked up and I saw this vase. That thing's pretty cool. It's carved stone, most likely limestone, probably out of Kenya. But there's a lot of damage to the colored parts. For $8, I think we'll leave that here. We are now in the kitchen aisle, and that is one big, beautiful etched crystal vase, but as is chipped, and they put a piece of tape over that broken corner. There's a celery dish, crystal, etched, and chipped. So we'll leave that here. There's a shamrock planter, maybe. Little container of some kind anyway. I don't know what it is about that picture, but I kind of like the looks of it. Who made this? Home. Let's see. Made in China. Even though it's made in China, it still looks good. It's a nice set of canisters, but at $4.79 a piece. Put you almost $15 for the set. What's this green glass in here? Those are modern votives. So earrings randomly back here. Ashtray, Thompson & Co. Incorporated. Unmarked on the back. That's pretty cool. Cindy Wallace, 1991. You know what, just for grins, we're going to put that in the cart and look it up. It's Kind of a neat little container, probably made in Mexico. There's another shamrock, also modern. Anything on the white end cap. There's a big art glass vase, bottle looking thing, but it's made in China and it's got a big crack. Still got the TJ Maxx sticker on it. A little crowded down that next aisle. I think I'll turn around and check the end caps. Holiday Home, I was hoping that was Anthropology. Another ashtray carved out of alabaster. Mexican onyx, whatever it's called. It's not a true onyx, but it was all chipped up. The glass apple with the chipped leaf is still here. There's a set of 4 red coasters. They don't have any age to them. Those are fairly new. Nothing on the green end cap. And we check the blue one as soon as we come in. I'll bring you guys back in when we find something. Well, they brought out a new cart. And it's still crowded, but I was able to snag a few things like that old Fisher Price camera. When is the last time you saw one of them? That's pretty cool. We'll look it up because they got it marked at $4.79. Found this little brass or copper piece made in Siena, I think is what that says. We're gonna look that up. They also brought out this honey colored vase. We're gonna look that up. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now before we look at a bunch of anything else, because I don't have room in my top of my cart, which is where I normally put things until after I look them up, and then I put them in the bottom of the cart. So I'm gonna look this stuff up and we'll get back to treasure hunting. All right, we went all the way through all of that stuff that was in the cart. And unfortunately, none of it was really worth keeping, except for this little guy, which we're gonna keep. And there is another shamrock related item. Somebody was Irish and their collection just got donated. And that's a Fostoria piece, but it's amber, and it's amber glass right now. It's just not doing well. So we're gonna leave that here. And they should be close to bringing out another new cart. Look at this. It's very pretty, but it's also very color flashed and very modern. It's very pretty though. Take a quick look here, and then we're gonna go check on another spot in the store. Over here in the furniture aisle, and look at the size of this vase. Amphora, whatever you call it. It's got the fish on it, koi fish, I think. That thing is awesome. They want $60 for it. Whew. Yep, decorated on all 4 sides. Would you pick that up? It's neat, beyond a shadow of a doubt, but I'm gonna leave it here. Oh, it is unbelievably busy in here. Every single aisle is just jam-packed with people. Brought a new cart out and I was able to find this little derpy turtle. He's pretty cool. I think we might pick him up. There's no damage, it's not signed or anything, but you know, it's a hobbyist piece, but it's a little better than most hobbyist pieces. And that derpy look on his face, it just got me. So for $3.79, we're gonna put him in the bring home pile. Well, that is a very pretty lamp. It's amber, it's hobnail, it's vintage, but not real vintage. It's probably from the 70s, maybe even the early 80s. And for 11 bucks, ah, man, I hate to leave that here. If I had me an antique booth, that would go home with me. But we're gonna leave it here this time. All right, folks, they brought out a new cart, and my God, it got swamped. So I grabbed a couple of pieces and found an aisle that's not overly crowded. We're gonna look them up. There's a little piece of French pottery with a bird hand painted onto it, and it is signed. Ducks do, anyway, that's French for handmade. So we'll look that little guy up. It's kind of a nice little piece. we found this 1937 coronation plate. Should get you up there. So that's King George and Queen Elizabeth from 1937. It does appear to have some age to it, and it's made in Canada. We'll look that up. And we got this bowl serving platter. I basically grabbed it because everything else was right there, but we'll look it up also. We came back to the shoe area and looked down low, and lo and behold, we found another pair of nice Hokas that should net us some decent profit. Let's see what they're asking for them. $10.79. Not bad. These are probably somewhere in the $40 to $75 range. I'll know more when we look them up. And I'll let you know what I find when we do the wrap up. That is a really cool old table. It's too bad they don't have the center section for it. But these old tops, tables with these, I can't remember the name, Formica tops on them. I love this stuff. Got the metal banding all the way around, the chrome legs. The only thing missing from it is the center section. It's a little wonky, but all of that can be fixed pretty easy. They want $50 for it. I'm telling y'all, if I had the room and a place to set up a used furniture shop, I would buy stuff like this all day long. That thing is just too awesome. All right, folks, they brought another card out, and it's probably the last one I'm gonna wait for today. But they had all these early to mid 70s cartoon character glasses, and just on a whim, because I like Slowpoke Rodriguez, I looked him up. This is where a lot of people get in trouble using Google Lens. Two of them popped up immediately. One of them for $150, the other one for $120. I'm like, oh, let me just grab all of them. We're going to look them up and see if they actually do sell for that much. Now, Slowpoke here is from 1973. There are 13 listed anywhere from $75 to $150 each, but there's only one sold, and it sold for $79 at auction. So Slowpoke's going to come with me. They are priced at $4.79 a piece. Most of them have dishwasher rash. These old applied color labelings don't do well in dishwashers. So I'm going to look them all up, and if there's any others that are like Slowpoke and may be worth it, I'll show them to you when we get to the wrap-up part of this video. Well, folks, that was a pretty fun trip to the Goodwill here in Medford, Oregon. And we come up with some good stuff. Got to visit with a lot of friends. Penny, if you're watching this, howdy. We got to see several friends in there, other pickers and people who worked there. It was a really nice, fun trip in there, regardless of the crowd. Here lately, that store is just crowded every day of the week. Doesn't matter if you go in early, midday, or late, it is crowded all the time. But we're still making finds, so I'll keep going back. So let me show you what we found. One of the first things we found was this little bud vase or weed pot. And it's pretty well done. It's signed and dated 2005. Technically that makes it vintage, but it's a little clown face on there. And it's marked Cute Wear, USA 2005. This kind of stuff, there's a category of things amongst my market called weirdos, and that's going to come up here in just a minute. And there's a couple of different weirdos. Some of them are just so weird they're cool. Others are weird and cute, and we call those derpy, sort of. I'll explain that more later. But in my markets, especially on knickknacks.net, doing live sales, derpy and weird do well. And I can see why. That has definitely got some appeal to it. All right, the next thing we found was this little ceramic trinket dish. It's hand painted. It's got a bird on the top, and it's got some little floral designs and butterflies on it, and it is signed. And a quick Google search says that inscription is French. It came up with a manufacturer, and right there on the Google, I didn't go look it up further than that. Everything I saw was in the 80s, 90s, $100 plus range. Probably not worth that, but the fact that it's got the hand-painted bird on it, it's well made, well glazed, I like it. We're going to buy it. We're going to sell it on one of those live sales I was just talking about and see how it does. And this is what I mean by derpy. I mean, that is weird. No two ways about it. It's weird, but look at that little face. I mean, how can you not like that little face? He's happy. So, derpy little turtle, handmade. It should do well on knickknacks. So, there we go. The next thing we found was actually another pair of shoes. We got a pair of Hokas. These happen to be in my size, but they're in excellent condition. Won't take much but a light brushing and wiping down, and we can get those listed. These should bring us somewhere between $50 and $75. The absolute find of the day. You saw me find all of those character glasses. You probably remember them if you're my age or somewhere close to it. You'd go to McDonald's or Burger King or even in regular stores, and you get these drinking glasses that would have cartoon characters on them. Generally, most of them I've ever picked up and looked up were not worth much, with the exception of the Care Bears. Not that I find the Care Bear ones, but when you do, those are worth good money. But I saw a whole bunch of these with the Looney Tunes on them, and most of them had dishwasher rash. Folks, this old glass with the color stuff on it, don't put it in the dishwasher. You will ruin it, and that includes Pyrex. But just out of curiosity, I looked this one up. This is Slowpoke Rodriguez. If you remember who this is and watched him on a Saturday morning, it's time to schedule that colonoscopy. Do it. Okay. Anywho, I looked him up. There were active listings on Google that were over $100. I'm like, nah, no way. So just in case, I grabbed all of them off that new cart, put them in my cart, and went and found a quiet corner and looked this guy up, and sure enough, there are actual solds of this guy over 100. Now, the average is somewhere between 70 and 90. So we're going to, in fact, one of them that I was researching on it on eBay, they sent me an offer. They had it listed at $109. They sent me a $89 offer, and I didn't buy it. So I think right now the market on these is probably about $75. So we're going to get this cleaned up and listed. I made the draft for it right then and there in eBay before we even left. So we're going to get this cleaned up, to get some pictures taken of it, and we're going to get it listed right now. So there you go. That's what we found. We had a little fun, met some friends, made some good finds. And I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for showing up and going with me on my little treasure hunting adventures. I hope to see you in a future video. So y'all come back now. You hear?